this point, characters like Striker showing off what he can do alone and not even factoring others in should have been more than enough to prove higher social status doesn't automatically equal broken strength. Either way, Stolas has been shown to be one of the most capable characters from Helluva Boss. The only other characters that stand higher than him are probably the few of the 7 deadly sins we've met so far. As Striker's a weird one because if that guy doesn't have angelic steel and imbued weaponry on him, then Stolas probably just hard clears him. Stolas, in terms of attacking potency, hasn't really had many things to go off of when you get right down to it. Like, his skill set and his use of his powers isn't something that really causes any kind of collateral damage to an environment where we can attempt to compare it to a large area. It's a lot of either using the environment around him to take someone down or using his own innate technique to take one down in a very, for lack of a better word, clean manner. In terms of speed, these two are probably about the same. Stolas was able to dodge a few of Striker's holy bullets, but also did get caught by the special lasso shortly after. To me, it feels very comparable to Al dodging Adam and then getting sliced at the end. Durability, though, it feels like Stolas could be a little bit better in this regard. Considering he was heavily weakened while tied up by an angelic lasso, he was able to eat multiple stab wounds from Striker's presumably angelic knife. Only time he seemed to feel genuine pain is when Striker got him around the neck. His legs just took it like champs. Granted, he did have to go spend some time in a hospital for his injuries by the end of this encounter, so it's a bit tricky to say who is the definitively more durable one between the two, because one of them took multiple stabbings from angelic weapons while tied up by an angelic rope, and the other took one slash from an angelic weapon, yet it was wielded by the literal leader of an exorcist army. At that point, maybe we can just call it even, I don't know. As for Stolas' demonic powers, his most notable one is his petrification through the use of his 4 eyes, which has been shown to instantly petrify demons like imps within a couple seconds, rendering them completely helpless. He's also got portal creation to travel to space and Earth, the ability to possess both living and deceased bodies in multiple quantities, and some light form of electrokinesis. The portal creation thing is similar to Adam's situation, where Stolas uses these portals simply to get from point A to point B, or for some eye candy through the vast cosmos, whether when singing or trying to impress a young Octavia. It's cool to think about the idea of Stolas using a portal to guide a meteor through it just to completely demolish someone or something, but that just hasn't been the case. The ability to have others fight for you is something Alistair and Stolas have in common with their respective powers. However, it feels like Alistair edges Stolas out with this as well, because Alistair can just conjure these shadow demons basically out of thin air, while as of right now, Stolas can only have power in numbers if there are other bodies in the area he can make use of. When it comes to these hypothetical versus scenarios I try to ignore the possibility of there being any outside interference, like other people just being in the area for Stolas to control, which again boils down to Al being allowed to summon his little shadow demons because that's kind of part of his innate technique, and Stolas' possession essentially being useless. So Stolas' biggest gambit here is just the petrification and if it'll work on Alistair outright, or if he can, actually catch him with it. It's tough when he's only successfully used this attack one time and it was on some no-name imp assassin. And we basically never saw that guy break out of it, and Stolas was confident enough that it would work on Striker too. There is technically no way of proving that it wouldn't work on Alistair the same way it did on the random imp. It easily could. It just stinks because, how Stolas' powers, they just haven't really been expanded on too much yet, at least in terms of fighting relevance. Obviously, I'm self-aware enough to realize the fight scenes in both these shows are far from a priority when the crew is developing these episodes, but at the same time, I can't help but raise a bit of an eyebrow over the fact that Alistair has had more showings in a fight within 8 episodes of Hazbin Hotel than Stolas has in almost 2 full seasons of Helluva Boss. You could argue Al is more of a main character, I guess, in the context of Hazbin than Stolas is in Helluva Boss, but even that's giving a lot of it a benefit of the doubt here.